but the reality is that you come to a really difficult ground with a difficult pitch, and you produce a lot of big chances. So if you don't score your big chances, if you give a goal to the opponent and you don't get the referee's decision when you need to, in the Premier League, it's pretty complicated to win football games.
We were a bit jaded. We looked like the physical side had just cost us a little bit in the first half, but you know, the marvel of half-time, I said there's not much in this. It's 1% more effort, 1% more intent and purpose. And I thought second half we came out more like that. During the end of the game, the mentality was superb. You know, to block, to do all the ugly things in the game that are still as important as anything. And I thought the mentality of our defenders to make sure we didn't concede again was fantastic.
There's always risk to play out from the back, but this is our style. Today we conceded a goal from that, but like I said, there's nothing to worry about.
You were given one penalty that was chalked off. Do you feel you could have had another one?
Well, for me, the first one. If that's not a penalty, honestly, someone has to come at the training ground and explain us again what a handball is, because it cannot be any clearer. When the hand is here, the player's got the advantage, and he's got no intention whatsoever to move down. So
he gets clipped on his foot. Clearly deviates him from striking the ball cleanly, no penalty, but we know we've got the lowest record in the Premier League, season on season for penalties. Sounds a strange thing, but if we dived more and squealed more, seemingly, then you might get more.
Welcome to squealing and screaming. It's about time. Decent game, some good football. Let's start with Arsenal, Ian.
Yeah.
Pros and cons.
Well, pros were very good in respects of the chances created, playing out from the back, which I think is brilliant, what they're doing. Obviously, we're going to see when it doesn't go right, but in the main, Arsenal have to take the chances, what they create, and that's what didn't happen today. I think Burnley started very slow. They, like he said, they weren't tight on Arsenal. And when you get Thomas Partey playing, he gets the ball into those lines. He wants to pass it. This is brilliant. This is the goal. You know, he gets the ball in an area where, yes, if you're closed down, you might be able to get it, but they're playing. Him and Xhaka, who play very, very well together, and Xhaka's been playing well. You know, they do well. They get out of that very well. And then once you get the ball to Aubameyang, obviously Loughton's got to show him on the left. He doesn't. Comes inside, and they get the goal. Fantastic goal. Now, this is where people are saying, well, I'll just go long. No, because we've just seen from playing out the back that Arsenal can do it.
Advantages outweigh the disadvantages.
Absolutely does. Absolutely does. What we see here is a calamitous goal. Don't get me wrong, but could have been avoided. When you look at this situation here, I think that he's got to be getting the ball here. He's got to be demanding it. I think someone like Thomas Partey probably would have done that. He doesn't do it there. Then once it comes back to Bernd Leno, you're thinking, OK, right, he's seen that he's got 3 options over there. So you're thinking, this is no problem. He's just going to whip it out there. He actually takes...
First time.
Absolutely first time. Takes a touch, bam.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, his face says everything. Now, I feel for him, because he's been playing very well with Thomas Partey, but that kind of costs you. That costs you.
If he just turns it around the corner on his right foot, he's not comfortable on his right foot. Gary, so he's actually taken the touch and he's trying to make it a little bit more, you know, cut, but it's not worked.
Arsenal were pretty dominant in the first half.
Very dominant.
The team didn't really wake up into the second, but they were much better in that second
half.
Yeah,
they were. Burnley came out in the second half. Sean Dyche must have said, you've got to get closer to them. You've got to put them under a little bit of pressure. This is what happened in the first half. Look at the space. Look at there's so much time on the ball. Look at the space in behind as well. You're playing against Aubameyang. Yeah. You can't give him that kind of space. If you are going to give him that kind of space, stay with your runners, because there's no pressure on the ball at all. There you go, simple ball through, in you go. On this occasion, they got away with it. Second half, everything changed. You can see here, you'll see in a moment how they set up. Sean Dyche would have said, right, we're changing this in the second half, and this is what I want. 4 players making sure that Arsenal stay on that left-hand side. Yeah. Keeping the pressure on. Tarkowski's there in behind. There you go. That's our strength. And this is how we're going to set up. It happened time and time again. There's 4 players again, forcing that left back to go into the strength where Gunnarsson is. And you can see there, he doesn't know where to go. He goes in. Loughton now makes the 4. They stayed in this shape for most of the second half. They came into the game. They forced Arsenal to make passes and to run with the ball. And they won the ball back. Burnley were a different animal in the second half. And I think Sean Dyche, there you can see him on the sideline, clapping, enjoying the game, knowing full well that his team are playing better. Wright, he's diving in there, David Luiz.
Well, that's the thing. Like I say, Arsenal, when you're as dominant as they've been in games, you have to take chances, because they're very fortunate. They burnt Lane, I'll save them there.
Good chance,
Right, VAR. They certainly got it right, didn't they, with the Peters shoulder? That's absolutely what VAR is there for. It should be. but elsewhere?
Of course, he got the second one wrong. Just as much as he got the first one brilliantly right. Even with this one here, I know Sean Dyche was saying about the shouting and screaming, but I don't believe that this is a penalty. And anybody knows what I say. If I believe that he's kicked his leg there, I don't think he's gone to. He's not actually gone to try and tackle him, but. For me,
this one,
like we said, in respect of getting the one right with Pepe, the first one with on the line, how is that not a penalty? He's actually got...
Kevin Friend?
Kevin Friend's got it wrong. He ain't got many friends tonight, I tell you, because...
Phone a friend.
The fact is that is stopping Pepe from going past him.
I don't know how that isn't clear.
Well, it's what they're saying to us, the VAR folk, it was proximity and the ability to react.
Oh, come on. See,
but
like even
certainly inconsistency.
Mikel Arteta's saying they need to come down and explain it again. It's ridiculous. That's a penalty.
We've seen penalties given for a lot less than that.
Yeah.
That to me just looks like a penalty.
That's a penalty.
Right. This season, we've really noticed, haven't we, with behind closed doors football, that footballers do scream a lot when they're touched, even very mildly. But I think we may have the scream of the season. In fact, there's 3 screams. We're going to go quiet so you can hear it. Lacazette. We've just to prove it, we've got a screamometer, and have a listen again. Here you go. It's a world record, Ian, isn't it?
It's a loud scream. I've got to give him that. It's a loud scream.
And it wasn't even treated.
I know, that was the thing. No Lacazette was hurt in the filming of that incident. We'll move on.
And that's the point, really. When you're inconsistent, you win, you lose, you draw, but you're not going to win titles and you're not going to win trophies if you are inconsistent. How do you feel standing here having watched that 90 minutes from Arsenal today?
Well, I'm feeling that I'm reflecting what the manager has just done. You know, at the end of the day, Arsenal have just simply given that away. You know, when you start the game as they did, and they take the game to the opposition, they create those number of chances, the Man Cities of this world kill teams off. They've got that killer instinct. And then what they do is they don't let their opponent back in. They don't give anything away for nothing. And Arsenal did that today with the goal they conceded. And I'm also would take issue with the territory that Arsenal, the thing about called territory, where do you play the game? I felt at times Arsenal sat so deep, inviting those long balls in. And you can't afford to do that. You've got to stop it at source. So you push your team up high. You really press. They gave them too much time on the ball. They allowed Burnley to grow back into the football match, and they let their opponent off the hook. When you've got your opponent, you know, round the scruff of the neck, you can't let go. And Arsenal did, and they gave away a freebie. I understand you want to pass the ball out from the back, but don't make mistakes. Minimise your mistakes, and you've got half a chance. Yes, you applaud Burnley for their closing down. But when this goes back to Leno, the first time, I believe that he should say, OK, no, they're in a good position here, Burnley. Let's get this ball up the pitch. He should never pass it in there. Of course, he shouldn't give it away either. It's a top player here. But it's a giveaway. And the manager, what did the manager say before the game? Don't make mistakes. Look, if you look open out the pitch, the keeper could have gone long at this point. Could have relieved all the pressure. But instead he invites pressure. And then credit to Burnley. They get players around the ball. And then it draws the mistake from Xhaka. Disaster for Arsenal.
Disaster. Do you know what? Credit to Arteta there in his interview, because he didn't hide behind it. He could quite easily have and felt hard done by and just continuously talked about the handball that they should have got, the penalties. But he was honest. He said, we should be coming here and winning by 2 or 3 goals. That's where he set the stall out where Arsenal are going to be. I said it was a big test for him at half-time, how he galvanised his team. Because when you come in, Martin will tell you, and you've sort of controlled the game, because they were the better team in the first half, you make a stupid mistake like that, and it can happen. You know, when you're trying to play football like that, it was a technical mistake, all right? Whether it's the rights and wrongs of playing at the back, it has benefits, it has things that go wrong. Right, so Arteta is going down that road where that's how they play and that's the culture. OK, going at half-time, Xhaka's walking down with his head down, Leno's walking down with his head down because they've made the mistakes and everyone feels sorry for themselves. How did they come out and respond? And they didn't. So I praise him for his honesty after the game, Arteta, and I like the tactical setup of the team. But I think you need an experienced manager to come in the second half and galvanise them. They just didn't come out of the blocks.
That's experience, is it? I mean, can't anyone lift players with the right words?
Yeah, but it's the right words, it's the right emotion. It's like, I remember a game, I made a huge mistake playing for Chelsea, coming in, and I was apologising to the lads because you feel bad. And Jose was like, clip me around here, so get out there, and you've got 45 minutes to win the game. What are you doing? And it sort of jolts you up. The game was there to be won at half-time, and I felt the Arsenal players were feeling sorry for themselves for certainly the first 20 minutes of the second half. There wasn't that emotional response. They should be coming in and winning 2 and 3-0. It's hard to find out the reasons why, because there's so many small details that they're not doing well.
The first thing we discussed when we got here today was about the manager Arteta and his vision for the future, and he had a list, didn't he? Because he said they're far, far away from the team he wants.
You've got the list there.
And he said, I need more quality.
Yeah.
So I think better players. If I looked at that today, there's maybe 4 or 5 in there that are going to be forming the core, but the rest maybe need to be changed. He talked about better decision making, be more efficient in your play. Did they make good decisions today in key moments? Maybe not. In front of goal, could have been better. More control of the game. They didn't really look control at any real point in this game, could they? First 10, 15 minutes, the last 10 minutes. Fewer giveaways in their own half. Well, look at that. Yeah. The goal was given away. And be more creative. So he knows what the problems are. He's now got to find the solutions and find the necessary players to put Arsenal back on the map, because they're halfway down the table and it's simply not good enough at the moment.
Seeing the problems is an awful lot easier than solving the problems.
Oh, God, yeah. We sit up here and we see
all the
problems.
It's the first step, though. It's the first step, knowing what's wrong.
He knows what's wrong, and he's honest, and that's what I love about him. He's not like you'd have seen some manager who's gone 15 minutes with Des talking about the handball, because they was hard done by. That was a penalty, no doubt, a mistake by the referee. So, but with Martin, what he's saying, identified what needs to be done. My worry for Arsenal is that where are they shopping now? They ain't shopping at the top table, Mark, are they? They're not competing with Man City, Chelsea, Man United for players. Where are they going to get these players who are going to come in and do a better job than what they've already got?
That's the skill of the recruitment, isn't it, department?
Yeah.
Find good players that they can bring in to improve the group.
Yeah.
I know we're talking it's doom and gloom, but they should have won that game today.
Yes.
They were very close to winning it, didn't. And now it's about moving on to the Thursday game against Olympiacos, because that's what's going to rescue their season.